Welcome back to another episode of The Marathon, and welcome to actually Marathoner HQ. This is my home office. Well, my office. I work from home and I feel very lucky to do so. But I have a lot of friends right now who are working from home for the first time in the midst of this global pandemic that we are all experiencing. And the number one thing that I'm hearing from friends or that I'm seeing online is that it is incredibly tough to focus during the workday when you work from home and there are 1,000,006 distractions. Whether you have kids, so you are also trying to be a teacher, or you are someone who doesn't have kids and you're still trying to work from home. Speaking of which, hi Thomas. What's up, bud?
Candy.
Yes, you may have candy. Good talking. Come ask. Oh, hello. Yes. He's never said that before. One for the mouth, one for the road. Okay, 3 for the road. Okay, thank you. All done. Okay, see ya. Bye. Good job. Case in point, Thomas is home. If you're new to my channel, my name's Mare and I run a social media marketing firm, Redhead Mare Media. I also post 3 videos a week on this channel. I'm a best-selling author and I have an 8-year-old son, Thomas, and I am a single mom and a widow. So I am now home working as I normally would be, but the new added bonus is that Thomas is home as well. And I'm hearing from a lot of people right now that it's very difficult to focus, and I understand that. As you can see, I've already been interrupted 1,000,006 times. So I thought I would just share with you the things that I have found super helpful working from home, ways in which to focus and still be productive when you have really disjointed time. The first thing that you need to wrap your head around is that it's not going to be a regular work day. And the second that you can wrap your head around that, you'll find things much easier and you can let things go. And when I say it's not a regular work day, I would say for 95% of us, when we're working from home, we're not working 9 to 5 in our office with no distractions, especially as things are right now. Even my friends who don't have kids, they're finding it really hard to focus right now, and that's understandable. Life as we know it is very different in this pocket of time in our existence, and we need to give ourselves grace. So allow yourself to exhale and just let go the expectation that things are going to be as they normally are in an office outside of the home. Now, I would recommend that you set up a designated workspace. Even if you don't have a separate room like I do, set up a corner of your dining table or set up a corner somewhere that you can create your office space, that you go, you sit and you work. I really recommend not sitting on the couch and working and then moving to your bed and working. Trust me, I've done that and I'm definitely not as productive. It's not good for the old aging body either. And what I find is if I'm not sitting here in my office, I am seeing 10 million other things in my house that need to get done, or I'm just easily distracted. So find a space that you can know that when you sit down, this is work time. It also may be helpful if you do have kids at home or a partner or roommates, and then you can set that boundary and say like, hey, when I'm sitting here, I'm working and I need to be left alone so that I can be productive and get things done. Now, right now, I am listening to Mel Robbins' The 5-Second Rule, which I've probably listened to at least 3 times. And she said something in the section that I listened to this morning that was a great reminder. She said that no matter how much time you have for a project, that's how long it's going to take you to do it. So I can speak from experience. When I was writing my book, Finding Your Cape, I had an editor and I said to her from the beginning, a huge thing I'm gonna need you to do is set me deadlines because I work to a deadline. If you give me 3 weeks to write a chapter, it's gonna take me 3 weeks. If you give me 3 days, 3 hours, whatever, I'm going to get it done. And it's very important to set yourself deadlines. So Mel Robbins recommends that every morning you set the deadline of when you're gonna finish working that day. Now for me, how I have set things up with Thomas being home for the time being is that I work, he gets screen time, then I stop working and he works, and then I work, and then he works, and we kind of go back and forth. So I know that when it's my work portion of the day that I only have a finite amount of time, and I cannot believe how productive I have been. Now I will say that the majority of my work time has been with the ambiance of Mickey Mouse Clubhouse in the background, as you can hear. So thank you for your patience on that. But this is my time to film, and if he wants to keep coming in and out, then that's just how things are gonna be in this video. So again, I'm letting go that, you know, things aren't working out exactly how I'd hoped they to be, but I'm sitting in my assigned workspace and I know I have a finite amount of time. Like, it's 1:41 right now. We will be going to do our PE portion of the day at 2 and going for a walk. So I'm not gonna stop filming. I'm going to keep just persevering, and I'll have to edit out the portions where he has come in and out, which is totally fine because things aren't going as planned and we're pivoting. And that's a lot of what Finding Your Cape is about. It says, like, the second line of the book is how to course correct and achieve greatness when things don't go as planned. Things are definitely not going as planned in the entire world right now, and we are all course correcting. So setting yourself a deadline or like a finite amount of time. So my girlfriends and I were chatting this morning and saying that many of us are feeling like we only have about a 1 to 2 hour window right now where we can focus, just because, I mean, unavoidably, there's so much else going on in our mind. So if you say, okay, I'm gonna work from 9 until 11, and then I'm gonna give myself a break. I'm going to allow myself to, you know, if you don't have kids, like, then I'm at 11 a.m. I'm gonna allow myself to watch a show and just zone out for a bit. But being like really specific with when it's work time, it's work time. And something that's really been helping me is I have found with so many people off work, my phone has become much busier during the day. I'm getting a lot of texts and a lot of phone calls, which I am incredibly grateful for, being on my own and quite lonely, to be honest, but it really cuts into my work time. So I've gone back to wearing my Fitbit, and what I like about this is that it vibrates when I get a text message or a call. So I can just glance down and be like, I can see that's not urgent. I'll get to it when I have my scheduled break time. And that's been really helpful. I also really recommend that you turn off all notifications. You don't need to know when there's a CNN update or when someone's liked your photo on Instagram or Facebook. Speaking from someone who has a social media business, I have 0 notifications on my phone because I find them way too distracting. I heard a couple years ago this study that really stuck with me, and it said that every single time you check your phone, it takes you 15 minutes to be as focused as you once were. 15 minutes. So if you can put your phone away or down or on silent and you can really get to work, I think you will be very pleasantly surprised with how much work you can get done. So if you're in your designated workspace, I also really recommend a good pair of headphones, which I don't think mine are up here, but I'll link them down below. I have a really cheap pair of Bluetooth wireless headphones that I like to listen to. They were on Amazon. I think they were like 30 bucks. They're great sound quality. I've had them for years and it's just helpful. I have it like quiet enough so I can still hear Thomas, but enough that it just kind of like really helps me focus. I've been listening to a lot of spa music, which has been very ambient and very relaxing, and just having that like really specific set time. So, you know, maybe you give yourself 2 hours in the morning and you work for those 2 hours. I promise you, you're gonna get so much more done than if you're like doing 10 minutes here and then 20 minutes here, and then your mom calls and then you're checking the laundry and then you're thinking, oh, what should I take out for dinner? Let me just call that person and check in. You're gonna really schedule out your day, I promise you, you're going to find you actually have a lot more free time than you ever anticipated. Like, I am making headway on projects that I'm really excited that I'm almost able to announce to you that I have had on the back burner for 2 years because I'm being so focused and specific with my time. I know that this is an incredibly, to put it mildly, horrific time in our existence. But I really encourage you to find pockets of things that you can pull and celebrate, for lack of a better term. Like, I'm celebrating that I have so much time with my son. I hope he'll look back on this time and think of how much fun we had together. Ooh. How much candy he got to eat in my office. I'm also really relishing in the fact that I really love this slower pace, and the fact that I have a little bit of extra time to think, because I'm not allowed to leave my house. I'm not going anywhere, seeing anybody. Time to reflect and find that headspace. And then, speaking of headspace, I also really recommend that you carve out time in your morning before you check your phone, before you hit your office, before you are giving your time to other people, which is what you're doing, whether you're working or you're constantly text messaging, that you give yourself time in the morning to meditate. If you meditate, I really recommend the app Headspace, and right now they have a ton of free content that they're offering to help people find some space in their mind, whether you go for a walk or you journal. Before you allow all the technology to come at you, find some space so you can reflect and just have a moment where it's not loud. We've been going on morning drives, just driving for 20 minutes and then driving home, because Thomas loves being in the car, and I really find that time wonderful. I usually have great, like, epiphanies professionally, like, oh, I should do this for my business, or that's a great problem solve. Like, so many of my issues have been solved either driving or meditating. I find it just really helps everything else get quiet. So those are some of the things that I'm recommending right now, as most of us are home. If you're working from home, and even if you've been laid off in this time and you are feeling quite out of sorts, I still recommend these pieces of advice. I still recommend that you set yourself deadlines for things that you've really wanted to do. I still recommend that you meditate and you journal and you take time for yourself. Carve out a little space in your house. Maybe you're not sitting at a desk working, but maybe you're working on yourself. I think this is a great time for self-improvement and reflection and being kind to yourself and allowing yourself some grace. I mean, I'm telling you that I've been the most productive in the last few weeks, but I've also been the most, like, staring at the wall in disbelief of what the hell is happening in this world right now, and like crying while I'm driving for no reason, or trying to lay on the couch and read in the afternoon and every single time falling asleep. So I think it's good to find those pockets of time too, but that's not what this video is about. This video is about being productive and trying to focus in this really messed up time of isolation. So these are my tips. This is my advice. If you'd like more, let me know. I'm sure as the weeks progress, there will be more things that work for me that I can share with you. Don't forget, every single day, I'm doing a Facebook Live in the Marathoner Facebook group. Just for a half an hour, we check in, we chat, we talk about our tiny wins for the day, and we have a sense of community and positivity and support. It is weekdays, 7:30 Pacific Standard Time, and then weekends we do it 8 a.m. PST. If you're not in the Marathoner Facebook group, there's a link down below for you to request to join it. Is a really messed up time, y'all, and we will get through it together. I really appreciate you taking the time to watch this video. If you know someone who would help, please share it, and I'll see you in the next one. Those projects that I just told you about, I'm so close to announcing them. I'm hoping one will be out within the week, and then the next will quickly follow in its succession. It's just finding, you know, those brilliant pockets of time and really managing my time well as Thomas is home. So thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.